ADOS Baron back with another review for ToyWorldOrder.com. With the return of Marvel Legends, Hasbro has been keeping its word that it would improve upon some of the mistakes made when they first got a hold of the license. For the past year or so, they've been consistently cranking out new and fan-demanded characters, much to the joy of collectors everywhere. In addition to this, Hasbro has taken the time to go back and update older Toy Biz offerings which haven't aged very well over the past few years. Case in point, Toy Biz's first release of Archangel. The figure, while acceptable at the time, featured the overly stringy marionette body, a rather bland-looking face sculpt, and totally inaccurate wings that featured an unnecessary missile-launching action feature. Hasbro seemed to take notice of this and put him on their list of eligible characters deserving an updated figure. And what's really great is that with his release, we are introduced to a brand new male buck. So how about we take a look at this new figure and find out if this offering raises the bar on what came before it. Taking a look at the packaging, Archangel comes on the same type of blister card design which all of Hasbro's new Marvel Legends figures are featured on. I have to say, the composition of the figure and package for this line is spectacular. I find that the way these figures are set up in the bubble harkens back to the way action figures were packaged in the 90s. And because of this, I'm fighting with myself on whether or not to take him out and ruin this aesthetic. But for the sake of you viewers, I'll do it. On the top left, we have a small piece of artwork depicting the figure included, which is a nice touch, since toy packaging nowadays is lacking in this department. Within the bubble, we have the figure himself, and packaged separately behind him are his wings folded up. On the blister itself, we have a small sticker indicating this particular figure, and on the upper right, a blurb advertising that Archangel here is from the Hit Monkey Build-A-Figure wave. On the right-hand side, we also get a lineup of the other figures in this wave, composed much like comic art. Love it, love it, love it. I cannot praise the card art and composition enough. A+, gold stars around. That drawing on the front? Like all Marvel Legends figures, by turning the card around, we get a gorgeous full version of that with a short snippet of info on him. Again, the more artwork, the better. Alright, I've gushed enough about the packaging. Let's get to what's really important, the figure himself. Out of the blister, here's what you get. You'll notice that there is no Hit Monkey Build-A-Figure piece. What Hasbro has been doing is that with each Build-A-Figure wave, core characters which you may already own do not come with a figure piece. This gives the collector the option to skip characters they may not want another of, not being forced to add multiple versions of characters just to acquire a Build-A-Figure piece. This is an excellent move on Hasbro's behalf. Before we piece them together, let's examine this brand new body. The sculpting on Mr. Worthington here is exquisite for a Marvel Legends figure. What made the Toy Biz figures pop and make you notice the sculpting was the black wash applied to many of them. Even without said wash, you can definitely see all the detail put into this sculpt. In addition, compared to the first offering, he's been beefed up a bit, resulting in a much more imposing look to him. Archangel is cast in a solid dark blue, with beautiful metallic magenta lines running throughout his costume. You'll see here, the original version used a basic flat pink, but by implementing the chrome finish makes for an incredibly eye-catching figure. Minor concern. It seems on the wrist and feet tips, the paint was applied lighter than the rest, so it's not as bold. Minor concern. Chugging along to the face sculpt. I mean, honestly, look at it! Check out that mug! Ooh, that grimace! You can tell this is a mutant not to be trifled with, and far more befitting a former horseman of Apocalypse. Okay, so the articulation is as follows. Head moves up and down, very well I might add, left and right. Ball-jointed shoulders, bicep swivels, double-jointed elbows, and ball-jointed wrists. ab crunch and waist swivel, fully articulated hip rockers, a nice touch as ball-jointed hips sometimes look funky with thigh cuts, double-jointed knees, a swivel at the calf, and ankle rockers. These ankle rockers are really cool. If you take a closer look, the connection between the foot and ankle piece is located at the front side of the ankle, or here, as opposed to the traditional spot at the base or bottom. This allows for some dramatic posability, and personally, I'm a big fan of. Archangel wouldn't be Archangel without his trademark wings, right? Well, here they are, and I can safely say they turned out marvelous. Bad puns. They are big. What I really appreciate is they pulled out all the stops and made these fully articulated. Not only do you get his main wings, but also the smaller secondary pair behind those, and they're posable as well. Cast in what I can only describe as swirly silver, these are a fantastic representation of Warren's main mode of transportation. The only thing I can say negative about them, they're not painted, just cast in that silver-colored plastic, whereas the former figure was actually painted silver, which was much better looking. So I've gone over both pieces separately, so let's bring them together! On the back of the figure, there's a small peg hole, and on the wings, a small peg. Simply connect them, and your Archangel is complete. It's a nice tight fit, but not so tight that they are permanently attached, and can easily be removed without fear of damaging either piece. Now combined, he can pull off some amazing poses, and his head can tilt back to give you a great in-flight stance. And what would a Horseman of Apocalypse be without his Lord and Master? Placing these two side by side makes for a great combination, and we now get a figure that looks spellbinding beside him. Nowadays, I pick and choose with the latest edition of the Marvel Legends line, something I don't do often, but Hasbro hit it out of the park with this one, which warranted a purchase. If you want to get your hands on him, this wave has already hit retail. But he is one of the more popular characters in this selection, so you might have to hunt a little harder. If you can find him, I'd buy him right away, as he is one of the best offerings Hasbro's put out to date. This is ADOS Baron, signing off.